Now there are various control methods and this can be classified in a various ways. One of the ways that you may classify it as per the stages where we are implementing the control. Now we know that we have input, then we process this input and then we have a output. Now what happens in feed forward control method? We evaluate the inputs itself and we take the corrective action at the very first stage of the plan, means at the very first stage. So feed forward control focus on inputs itself. Here input itself is monitor to determine whether the inputs are as per the plan, and if it is not, then the corrective action are taken. So before starting a process itself, we just focus on the input, and suppose the things are not as per the plans, what are the resources we are using? Inputs means here the resources in the form of material, machine, man, or we can say human resource. We have to analyze it, and if it is not as per the plan, we will just change the input. So this is a feed forward control where we focus on the input. There is a concurrent control. In concurrent control, we exercise the control mechanism during the process. So here the actual work start and then processing is there, and during the processing we have a control. So inspection during the process is the example of a concurrent control. Here the process itself is monitored and we control the overall execution during the process itself. And then there is a feedback control. This feedback control is a mechanism which work at a final stage. A final stage means during the output. So measurement of action based on the measurement, if any deviation is found between the standard and actual result, then corrective action is taken, means a result is checked. If the result is not as per the plan, and then corrective action is taken. So appraisal of a particular person is a example of this feedback control. So in this way we can have a control at the input, we can have during the process and during the output. So at the input level it is a feed forward control, at a processing level it is a concurrent control, and at a final stage, if during the output we are implementing the control mechanism, it is a feedback control. But practically we can have all these three type of control simultaneously. Then controlling methods, we can again classify controlling methods in another way as a qualitative control and a quantitative control. So what is this qualitative control? Here you just observe the things, a periodic or spot inspection, oral and written reports, the performance evaluation, discussion with the staff. Then there is one concept that is called as a MBO, that is a management by objective. Management by exception is also there, where we exclude certain things, and MIS, that is the management information system. All these techniques are qualitative techniques where the certain numerical or some mathematical calculation is not there. These are the qualitative techniques. Then another techniques we do have quantitative control are also there, where we do the control by using certain quantitative techniques of management. So, we know that financial budget, doing audits internal and external, break-even analysis, then some charts such as Gantt chart, then one of the very important techniques like program evaluation review technique, critical path methods, where which we use in project management mostly. These are basically a control techniques. We also use certain charts in quality control like X chart, R chart, P chart. These are quantitative controls of management. Then we can classify controlling methods as standardizing control, where the performance is standardized. We know that in time and work study we go for the standardization, and this standardization help us to compare the performance. Then preserving control is there, where the responsibility is allocated and strict supervision is done to control the uses of the assets, the resources. Then delegation of authority control, where the strict manual is prepared, and in that manual the role and responsibilities are clearly stated, and internal audits is done whether the things are happening as per the responsibilities assigned to that particular person or not. Then measurement control, where the job is measured, the performance of job is measured, and certain reports, budgets are the techniques which can be used. And then motivating control, the motivation helps in improving the performance of the employees, we know that. And here the rewards, the promotion helps in motivating the employees so that they can improve their performance. Our ultimate goal is to achieve the performance, to achieve the result, and whatever the techniques may be, we can use it. Now, where we can implement the control, this is the scope of control, you may say. So, we can control our policies, we can influence or implement at organization structure when we frame our organization structure. Then personnel means our HR, human resources, then wages and salary administration, then cost and capital expenditure, methods and procedure. We know that work study is one of the important tool where the methods are monitored or methods are designed properly. Then R&D, research and development, is one of the another field where we can exercise the control. We can exercise control at production line itself, at our external relationship of the organization, and therefore there will be always a overall control. So, this control has a wider scope. So, what should be the essential, what things we should keep in mind when implementing the controlling mechanism? So, control mechanism should reflect organizational needs, it should help always in forward looking, it should be objective oriented. It is not that what is your ultimate goal, your ultimate goal is to achieve the target, to achieve the set goal, and it is not that we have to dominate particular person, or we have to demotivate some employees. Our ultimate purpose is to get work done from employees, ultimately for achieving the objectives, and therefore always focus should be objective. The focus of control should be objective. It should be flexible so that we can make certain changes time to time. Of course, it should be economical, simple, motivating to the employees. The employees should not have, there should not be a fear among the employees. Then pointing out exception at a critical point. It should help us that where we are lacking at particular critical points, and of course, it should be acceptable to all at the organization level. At every level of organization, it should be acceptable. Now, when there is a control, whenever there is a control mechanism, there is always some resistance. A resistance from the employees may be there. So, what type of resistance is there? The employee may think that, the subordinate may think that I have lost my freedom. There is always such side of fear. The another problem may be that the measurement may not be proper. Then after when we take a feedback from the performance of an employee, we have certain appraisal system, and there may be some sort of fear among the subordinate that I may be discriminated, and this fear is always there. For that, what manager can do? Manager have to take employees or his subordinate in confidence. It may be against the self control. Again, this is a part of loss of freedom, you may say. Some control standard may not be proper, and at last fear of loss of creativity and innovation. You know that when there is a close supervision from the boss or from the manager to the subordinate, he may not think his own creativity. If there is some close supervision, then there is a attitude of subordinate that, okay, if you are saying me each and everything, I will not put my own thinking, I will not put my experience, and then this should not happen. And these are the things which are always there, which work as a resistance to the managerial control. Now, where management can control, where management can implement the control mechanism, we can control the cost, we can have a inventory control, then to keep the customer happy, we can have a quality control, we can do value analysis, how much input we are giving and what output we are getting. Ultimately, we have to check our productivity, and for that we have to always analyze how I can use input optimally. And so, ultimate purpose is to keep customer and employees satisfied. So, inventory control, cost control, quality control, value analysis, these are the areas where we can exercise control. Then financial performance, we have a cash flow analysis, balance sheet, which shows financial position at a particular time, income statement, income and loss at over a particular period, then financial ratios, debt to equity ratio, we know that, These ratios are used to check the financial performance. Then budget, all these are the financial tools or financial techniques which are used for controlling the expenditure of the organization. Then quality control, we know, is very important to see the satisfaction of the customer. What are the products we are serving to the customer, they should be as per the customer's requirement. So what is quality? It is the fitness for use, and if we are not measuring our performance, or performance of the product is not measured, so it may not function properly. So there will be a dissatisfaction from the customer side, and the company may lose the customer base. So quality control is very important. How do customer see us? This is a perception that customer is having about the particular company. So this we have discussed, that quality control is very important. It is the, we know that when the customer purchase a particular product, he is purchasing the basically service. Though tangible product is there, he is purchasing a performance of the product. So when I purchase a light, I purchase a illumination. When I purchase a toothpaste, I purchase a shining teeth. It is like this, that perception of the customer. So product is a bundle of needs basically, and more and more the satisfied customer, more and more the base of the customer will be there. So for long term sustainability, there should be waste prevention, good housekeeping, then process modification, recycle, reuse, then waste treatment, waste disposal. All these are the. So at last, what is control? It is a regulatory process of establishing standard to achieve goal, comparing actual performance against the standards, and taking corrective action. Proper planning leads toward better control, and balanced scorecard encourages manager to look behind the traditional financial measures. And traditional approach to controlling financial performance focuses on accounting tools. These are the things which we have discussed in this complete session. Thank you.